Hello, PitchGround. Welcome back. My name is Richard Chen, head of content at PitchGround. Before we begin, if you guys are watching this on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and turn on subscriptions and hit the bell so that way you get notified every time we post new content. Thank you so much for being a part of our community. And moving right along, the reason why we're all here today is because we have Steve McDonald, founder of LeadKlozer, with us. And we're really excited about diving into LeadKlozer's CRM features today and how you can use it to increase your social media marketing efforts. So if you're wondering who Steve is like a social media marketing expert. He has literally worked with brands like Duracell, Nike, Procter & Gamble, and furthermore, he's actually founded a university to teach people how to exactly boost their social media marketing efforts. So I'm glad that he's with us today because he comes exclusively to PitchGround with the world's first Facebook CRM. And I'm really excited about this because I personally hate losing track of engagements with customers and prospects. And honestly, right now, the only way I really keep track of it is by either committing it to memory, which doesn't really work well, or writing it down, which kind of defeats the purpose of being a digital marketer. So Steve, thank you so much for joining us today. We're so excited to have you share with us your presentation as well as show us how LeadKlozer works.
Fantastic. Well, let me do this. Let me bring up the presentation. I'm going to share my screen here first. All right. Are you seeing the screen?
I can see your screen.
Okay, fantastic. So what we're going to talk about is one of the biggest problems that we all have as digital marketers, and that is we miss out on lead opportunities all the time because we can't simply keep track of absolutely everything that's going on in our social media. So that's the very first thing I'm going to talk about. Never miss a social media lead opportunity again. Wouldn't that be great? I mean,
Right.
Over the years, I've talked to hundreds and hundreds because I was the head of a social media marketing university. There was never one person that I talked to that ever said, yep, no, I'm good, Steve. I never miss a lead opportunity. I've got it all under control. It was the exact opposite. They were overwhelmed and stressed because you couldn't possibly keep track of everything. So we're going to show you today, I'm going to show you very specifically how you're never going to miss a new lead opportunity again. And why leave 50% of the lead opportunities on the table? So in the very first webinar in this series that we did, we talked about missing over half of those opportunities. Why would you do that? Yeah, right. You know, Richard, we're doing all the hard work, right? We're creating the campaigns. We're just missing out on the opportunities. Well, the reason why is because Facebook is a social network. It's not a CRM, a customer relationship management tool. So we're going to go into the differences on those and how LeadKlozer helps close that gap, what that solution is from LeadKlozer. So here's that problem again, right? You run ads, you do posts, you've got chatbots, you've got conversations that are happening, but they're happening everywhere, right?
Right.
From this post, that ad, that comment, that reply, that reaction, all of that. And that's what you were talking about, right, Richard? You can't see that. There's no way humanly possible to see and digest all of that without some help.
And it gets worse as you scale your business. If you have a customer service team that manages your Facebook page and you're dealing with hundreds of people chatting in, there's literally hundreds of missed opportunities every day.
That's right. And what you started out with saying the problem was, unless I can just keep track of it in my head, and as you scale and as you get more people on your team, you get more people that are interacting, you're not the one interacting. Therefore, once again, you can't possibly have one person keep it all in their head, right? So this is the problem. we're lost. We're frustrated. In fact, Forbes magazine, they put out an article recently, and it said more than 80% of small to medium-sized enterprises reported feeling stressed and overwhelmed and panicking every day about their social media. So that's the current state. That's the world of social media marketing and why we're missing out on lead opportunities. Now, this is why we created LeadKlozer. I had hundreds and hundreds of my social media marketing university students coming to me on a regular basis and saying, Steve, how do I keep track of all this? There's got to be a tool, right? And so I searched and searched. There wasn't one. So we created it. Let me tell you a little bit about LeadKlozer, then I'm going to go into the top 10 reasons why you're never going to miss a new lead opportunity again. The biggest reason is that we're the only social media engagement and conversation tool that tracks and then helps you prioritize and lets you respond from within LeadKlozer to individual leads, all in one place, all inside of your dashboard, inside of LeadKlozer. So let me show you some individual features inside of LeadKlozer that are going to give you a lot of confidence that you're right. Steve, this is how I want you to score me on this presentation today, is at the end of it, right? Am I confident I'm never going to miss a lead opportunity again?
Right.
So the number one way out of 10 is we want to track Facebook engagements in real time, and we want to show them to you. Okay, so there are other applications or tools that show you engagements in real time. However, we've said this on previous webinars, that 70% of engagements on Facebook are reactions, and none of the other tools, they don't track reactions, even though that's somebody who's engaging with you. And the more a lead engages with you, the higher priority that lead is. So it's really important that we track all of that. So there's on the main dashboard of LeadKlozer, you're looking at it here, there's an area called Live Tracker. Think of it as an inbox of all of your social media engagements on Facebook for all of your pages. And you just click on them, you pop it open, and you can reply right there in real time. In fact, that's what I'm showing here. Out of Live Tracker, any of those line items, you click on it, and I'm going to enlarge this here. You just click on this, what is the first part of the actual post itself. There's a link. So out of Live Tracker, you just click on that line item, and we will pop up on your screen the whole entire Facebook post. And you can see all comments, and you can reply, you can like, and everything you want to be able to do on Facebook, you can do right from inside of LeadKlozer. So once again, you're going to be seeing everything in real time. You can pop it open and respond and reply. Now, thirdly, these engagements automatically create contact profiles inside of LeadKlozer. And inside of that contact profile is a feed of all the past engagements. So if Richard, if you had never engaged with the LeadKlozer Facebook page before, and you just came on and you just liked one of our posts, we would create automatically inside of LeadKlozer a contact profile for you. And then as you commented here or replied over here, sent us a message, engaged with our chatbot, all of that would be tracked inside of your contact profile automatically. So it's another way that there's a history of engagement that you're never going to miss a lead opportunity again. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. Here's an example of what a contact profile looks like. And here on the other side, this person has engaged with my business 113 times. And you could just scroll up and down. And so everything is organized, is tracked. There's absolutely no way to miss a lead opportunity or engagement ever again, because the entire history is saved for you by that individual lead.
So I have a question about that. How far back can it go?
Sure.
For like infinite, from the dawn of time, basically, from the first time they engage with you till now? Or is there like a cap on how far back we can look?
Sure. Well, when you first create your LeadKlozer account,
Yep.
We will go back and we will get the past 25,000 engagements for your page or pages, or the last 3 months, whichever we hit first. So when you start out, you minimally have 3 months worth of engagement or 25,000 historical engagements in total. And then as you go forward, we just keep adding those engagements. So a year from now, you'll have a minimum of a year and 3 months worth of engagements. So it keeps adding up as you go on in time.
Awesome.
But we want to make sure, though, that the second you open up your LeadKlozer account, that you've got a huge history of historical data, because as we're going to start to show here, we're going to start prioritizing leads for you immediately, the second you open up your account. So the fourth way we're not going to miss any lead opportunity is we're going to sort the real-time feed. So we showed you Live Tracker, and I call it a fire hose, right? It's just all the engagements coming right in. Well, what if you wanted to look at one page versus another page that you have for your business? Lots of businesses have multiple pages. If you have multiple pages, maybe I want to see all the inbox messages for all of my pages in one column. So let me expand this a little bit. So what we've done is we've given you a feature called Live Tracker Columns. And it literally takes that fire hose, that total, all engagements coming into one column, and you can separate it out in any way that you want. So here's an example. I have a Facebook lead ad that's going right now. Here's all my lead ad forms in one column. I could look at all comments and replies, or all engagements just for a particular page, any way that I wanted to create it. So once again, this is a way to have a dashboard up in front of you so that any real-time engagements that are happening, you can see them as they happen the way that you want to be able to see them. Make sure you don't miss anything. So another way, number 5, is we can have you search for a custom lead list. So we have what's called Smart Search. And the way that I like to refer to it is that I liken it to a Google search engine of your entire contact database. So let me pop this up a little bit so we can see it a little bit better. This is the way, the interface for how you do a search, because you might want to say, you know what, I want to see all comments and replies on all my posts and ads over the last 7 days. Show me a list of those people, right? Or I might want to see just all of my leads that I have marked as hot or warm. Because as you're interacting with people, you can, depending on the quality of the engagement and the conversation that you're having, you might say, holy cow, that person, Richard's really excited. He said, where do I buy, right? So I'm going to mark him as hot. Right? So there are ways that I can manually tell LeadKlozer that this is a very important contact for me. So let's say I want to just say, show me all leads that I've marked as hot or warm and search. And when you do that, you're going to get a list of leads that come up. And it's going to show you a bird's eye view of what are the important things that at a moment's notice that I need to be able to see in order to make a decision. Is that somebody that I want to be engaging with right now? So first off, you're never going to miss a new lead opportunity if you say, hey, here's the list of leads that I want to see. Show me everybody that yesterday engaged with my Facebook ads or one of my posts over the last 7 days, over the last 30 days. So it gives you literally limitless possibilities of how you can make sure that even if you weren't, if it was the weekend or something like that and you were off, you're like, okay, geez, what did I miss over the weekend? We'll bring up those 2 days and look at just the engagements you had just over those last couple of days. And we will always show that list of leads ranked in priority order by what we call a SMART score. And so you see a SC right here, SC 166, yep. And they go down 146, 136. So every list that you're shown has your highest rated lead at the top. And I'm going to tell you in just a few minutes how we actually develop that SMART score. It's a lead scoring system. So we automatically prioritize for you. So Richard, when you were saying, I'm really glad that you asked that question about, how much historical data do you actually have on somebody? Because the more historical data you have on somebody, then the more we can see how engaged they were with you and when and in what ways. And our internal algorithm then creates a SMART score for every lead so that they can be prioritized for you. But what you're seeing here is all kinds of information, right? So not only the SMART score, you're seeing when's the last time did I interact with this person? When's the last time they interacted with me? I'm going to talk in just a few minutes about this. This is a way that we organize our contacts or our leads so that we never miss a lead opportunity. And then, do I have an upcoming schedule? So I can see, oh, well, it's been a week since I interacted with her, but I've got an upcoming schedule. I'll go on to the next person on the list. Right. So all kinds of ways that we help you see the right activity, the right contacts. All right, number 6, we call it the Facebook Post Ad Tracker. Let me pop this open a little bit. One of the things that, working with all of my university students, that came up on a regular basis is they just wanted to be able to see the activity that was going on their post and their ads. And in order to do that, they had to open up multiple tabs or ad manager, right? And have this post open and that post open and this ad open and that ad open. It was a nightmare, right? So what we did is we created the post ad tracker. And what it does is it shows you in priority order, based on engagements, what are my highest engaged posts or ads over a certain period of time. I could click on this button and I could change it from last 7 days to show me the most engaged posts and ads from the last 30 days or last 90 days. But then, and I can just click on any of these line items, and just like out of Live Tracker, a pop-up will come up for that post or that ad, and I can engage and reply. Why do I need to, again, because Facebook isn't a CRM, right? They're not thinking about, hey, when I'm following up, I want to see a lot of activity in the way that I need to see it to make split-second decisions so that I'm making really good use of the time when I'm sitting down to do my follow-ups, right? So this is a really important dashboard that just shows you all your most engaged posts and ads. So you can click on there, scroll up and down, see all the comments, all the replies, and engage and move on.
I think this is really big for someone who's a Facebook ad guru. Anyone who only focuses on Facebook ads may initially say, well, maybe I don't need a Facebook CRM. What do I need it for? And this one feature by itself is priceless because it allows you to, on a real-time basis, if I'm wrong, you can correct me. But on a real-time basis, you can actually track the performance and stop spending money on ads that don't convert.
Well, what this is going to show you is the engagement off of that ad. So here's what you lose off of ads is you might have like a lead ad or an ad that just clicks through to a landing page, maybe register for a webinar or whatever, download something, and you're going to track that ad and decide whether to continue running that ad or not based on that goal, right? And in the ad manager, it'll show you the cost per lead or the cost per click or the metrics to decide, do I keep running this or not? Well, you might have a lot of engagement on an ad, right? That engagement might have come in a reaction, it might have come in a comment, but they may not have actually clicked through. They may not have downloaded, filled out the form, registered for the webinar. They may not have accomplished the goal of that ad, but they raised their hand and they identified themselves as somebody who was interested in what that ad was saying, right? So I used to run webinars all the time, and I would average 2,000 registered webinars, registrants a month for a webinar, okay? So that was pretty good, right? My cost per webinar registration was a way that I was looking at, is that ad working or not? Well, I would get hundreds and hundreds of comments, and I would get hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of reactions. Those weren't always the people that had clicked through and registered. So if I only looked at the people that were registering off of that ad, I would have missed the lead opportunities of all the people that didn't register but commented or reacted, right? Those people, now that we have LeadKlozer, would be leads that we would track and see activity. Maybe they commented, right? But they didn't register. But then I could see inside of LeadKlozer that, within the next couple of weeks, they reacted to 2 or 3 other posts. They, sent a Facebook inbox message. They were interacting and engaging in another way. That ad was successful in creating a lead relationship, even though the goal of that ad was to create a webinar registration, but it still created a lead in another way. I never would have been able to track all of that, right? I would have missed out on that lead opportunity. You'll pop up and you'll see all of those engagements inside of the post ad tracker. So number 7 is smart schedules. So how do you miss on a lead opportunity? How many of us have thought, okay, I really got to, follow up with that person again? Right? And maybe you write it down on a notebook paper, or you enter it into a spreadsheet, or you've got a to-do program or something. But how many of us have actually missed following up on something that we were supposed to?
I missed a couple.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, we've talked about on previous webinars here that it takes 7 to 8 follow-ups on average to close a lead into a sale. And on average, 40% of leads are only followed up twice. So to get to that 7 to 8 follow-ups, right, we have to have a system for actually following up with somebody, and a system that reminds us, automatically triggers us to say, hey, here is somebody that I was scheduled to follow up with, right? If you don't, you're going to miss huge lead opportunities that way, right? Just because you're going to just try to remember it, or it's going to be on a notebook paper. It's not going to remind you. You're just going to miss the opportunity. So on the main dashboard of LeadKlozer, there's something called Smart Schedules, and it will show you who you have scheduled today to follow up with, the next 7 days, past that, lifetime. It might be, sometimes leads are the kind of leads you're like, well, they're kind of interested. I need to touch base with them in a month and just see what's going on. Another is, they said, hey, I get my paycheck on the 15th and I'm going to buy, right? So I'm going to schedule something for the 16th, right? So all kinds of the reasons why you want to be scheduling. And it's one of the habits of highly successful salespeople is that you always schedule follow-ups. If somebody deserved your time in order to reply, have a conversation with them, then they deserve to have a follow-up scheduled out. So you pop open any of those, you click on like today or 7 days, click on those, and it pops open. You'll see here today 2 results. And here's this Lori Kanzler and Trudy Chapa I have scheduled to follow up with them today. Now, I'll also, between 4 and 5 in the morning, I'll get an email from LeadKlozer that reminds me, hey, today you've got Lori and Trudy that you're scheduled to follow up with.
Awesome.
So that's a huge missed opportunity. Facebook doesn't have that, right? They're not a CRM.
Right.
Smart Score. So we talked a little bit about Smart Scores here, these SE, right? And the way that we develop Smart Scores is every time somebody engages with you, we add points to their Smart Score. And we add more points for more important engagements. If somebody actually sent you an inbox message, that would be more important than a like, right? So we keep track of that over time. We depreciate points over time because, a message from somebody today is more important than a message from a month ago.
Right.
When you actually assign tags and different things to your contacts, then we can tell whether or not they're important to you. One tag in particular I'm talking about is called stages. And think of stages as the unique stages that when you nurture a lead to try to close those 7 to 8 contact points, those follow-ups, right? Every one of us has different stages that we're going to take our leads through for our business. I think an example I give a lot is somebody might have a stage that before they become a customer, I need to send them a proposal, right? So sent proposal would be a stage. Accepted proposal or signed proposal, right? Or signed contract. Those are examples from like big companies of stages. Other ones might be, they signed up for a webinar. They joined my Facebook group. There's important things that you want to keep track of. There are indications of, hey, this lead is moving along in my nurture process. Well, when you create that, you just you say, join my Facebook group. So you might create a little tag that says join group and assign it to a contact. And when you assign that stage to that contact, we know that they've progressed in the follow-up process or the nurturing process. That's important. So we increase Smart Scores. There's all kinds of ways that we automatically increase and decrease Smart Score points so that when you do those custom searches and you have lead lists and they're prioritized by the highest Smart Score at the top, that's really important. Or when you're on Live Tracker, there's already context because you'll see everybody's Smart Score. So I'm going to come to that in a minute, but Smart Scores is the whole prioritization system inside of LeadKlozer. And it's what the industry, the overall sales and marketing industry, not just from social media marketing, every CRM tool in the world does lead scoring so that you can prioritize your leads. Again, not done on Facebook. Tags, stages, and products. So I just talked about stages, right? Here's that example right here, made proposal. So that would be an indication if you assigned that to a lead. I think I can show you here. So here's an example of that contact profile. And down right on the left side, we show any tags that have been created and assigned to somebody, any stages, right? So this is another way that you stay organized, because now I could find Trudy in a smart search by saying, show me any of my, she's a customer, show me any of my customers who I've tagged as a VIP in the last 30 days. Or any of my customers that actually attended a certain event. And I'm focusing on customers here because huge missed lead opportunity. We all probably heard this one way, shape, or form, but the best way to increase sales and revenue in your business is to cross-sell or upsell an existing customer.
Right.
It takes 5 times the effort to bring in a brand new lead as a customer as it does to resell an existing customer. So when you talk about lead management and follow-up, we need to be talking about following up with our customers too. But we're going to miss out on lead opportunities again if we're not categorizing people so that we can do searches and bring up those lists to follow up so we know who to follow up with.
I have a question about tags. Before we continue. So with tags, is there a limit to how many tags you can add to someone's profile?
No, unlimited. Which means there's an unlimited number of ways that you can design to categorize and customize the contacts that you have.
Awesome. I think that's going to be huge because a lot of times when you upsell somebody, you also want to add that tag that they purchased whatever that new upsell is.
Absolutely. And that's the product tag here. When they purchase something, so for LeadKlozer, we have 3 different plans, a standard plan, an expert plan, and a pro plan. So this person purchased an expert plan. So now I can do a search and say, show me everybody who purchased the expert plan in the last 14 days. Why? Because there's a cross-sell. Oh, if you purchased this plan, then maybe there's another thing that you could purchase that would help out as well. So all of us in our businesses should have, when somebody purchases something, there's another way that we could help them. There's another way that we could help solve the problems that they're going through. And that's that cross-sell or upsell. So super important to know, well, who are the most important opportunities to cross-sell or upsell? They would be your most recent customers. Okay, give me a list of my most recent customers over the last 14 days or 30 days. You can do that once you use these kinds of tags, and then you do a smart search. The last way, no missed leads. And I put down context here. So when you're seeing engagements on Facebook, and you got all these tabs open, you got this post and that ad, this ad, right? And a name comes through, like there's a name, Lori Kanzler. Lori Kanzler comes through, right? Well, how important is Lori Kanzler? I might remember maybe that I've seen her before, I've had a conversation with her, but I can't remember how many times that she's engaged with me. I don't know if she's a customer or a lead. I don't know if I've actually marked her as somebody that is, warm or hot, like a more important lead than somebody else. And very, very importantly, this little dot right here, when we talk about context, this is Live Tracker. So when line items come into Live Tracker, you not only know who it is, you not only know their SMART score, this is the contact status. So everybody comes in as green or neutral, and you could change them to warm or hot, right? So you immediately can see their contact status. And this little dot right here, that's called the one-on-one communication dot. And what that does is you click on it, and it will show you all the ways that you have one-on-one communication with that lead. which is super important because this engagement might end up, it might be engagement for a reaction, a like, a heart that somebody made. They're like,
Right.
oh, that's great. In any other application, you'd be like, okay, we'll move on. But if I see that it's a reaction, but I've got one-on-one communication with this person, I can just click it open, see how I can communicate with them, and say, hey, I see you just liked my new post on XYZ, and it starts the conversation. It gives you a reason, a trigger to follow up with a really important lead. That lead opportunity would have been missed without any tool like this or any other social media marketing tool that's out there, because nobody else tracks reactions. So there is just a ton of different ways that you want to make sure that the hard work that you're doing on all your social media marketing is actually creating the lead opportunities that you deserve, right? I'd be upset after seeing this. We're like, oh my goodness, how long have I been creating ads and posts and marketing my business on Facebook? And I've been missing out on all this opportunity to see and understand and categorize, follow up with leads. Why would I ever not give myself that opportunity with the social media marketing that I'm doing?
Exactly. This is huge. I feel like people have been marketing blind for the last maybe 5, 6, 7 years on Facebook because they're literally just throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks. And now they actually have a tool with your tool to be able to just capture all that data and have basically the knowledge and capability to actually engage those people. Whereas previously you're like, oh, maybe that person's interested or maybe that person's interested.
Right.
But
Right.
now it's a game changer with this software. So I'm really excited about what you showed us so far. And I'm sure that people who are watching this are probably at a state of disbelief because they're like, wow, like, duh.
Well, let me do this. Let me show you a couple of other things, and then maybe we could spend a few minutes going in live into LeadKlozer and just showing a couple of these examples and how they happen.
Absolutely.
So, the idea of CRM, what is a CRM, right? So the biggest CRM in the world is Salesforce.com. And it's a technology for managing all your company's relationships and interactions with customers and potential customers. So this is huge, right? We think about leads. We think about, oh, I got to get more and more people to talk to my business. And I forget that my customers are my greatest source for new business right away.
Right.
The goal is simple: improve business relationships. So one of the things about Facebook and different things too is that you can carry on conversations on Facebook, right? But they happen here and there, and they're disjoint. They're never brought all together, right? So if I have an inbox conversation with somebody on Facebook and I reply to a comment they made on a post, those are two different points of the conversation that are never brought together, right? So they're disjointed conversations. But if I want to create relationships, I want to bring those conversations together. So that's why it's really important to have contact profiles that have all the engagements, the history with that one particular lead right there for you. So you can see the entire thread of the conversation that's actually happening. A CRM system helps companies stay connected to customers, streamline processes, and improve profitability. So that's what we want for your business.
Right.
So the importance of CRMs, just to give you some of we went over these stats, but without a CRM, 79% of all marketing leads are never converted to sales. And average percentage improvements reported by Salesforce, 27% greater lead volume, 30% greater lead conversion, and 25% increase in marketing ROI. Now, we talked about this on the last webinar, Richard, where those percentage increases should be much greater for social media marketing because tracking all those engagements, it's infinitely more engagements in the world of social media than in traditional media, right? So, the opportunity for missed leads is much greater in social media marketing than any other kind of marketing. So therefore, using a CRM in social media marketing should increase lead volume, lead conversion, and return on investment for your marketing at a much, much greater rate.
I also think it's important to mention that with LeadKlozer, we're actually not changing the habits of businesses. We're not changing their day-to-day interactions. All we're doing is we're making it clearer for them to basically see more about their engagements with their customers. So I know that a lot of times people, when they hear CRM, they're like, "Oh my God, like this is crazy. It sounds scary." But at the end of the day, we're actually not doing anything extra, and I think that's something very important to highlight, especially for anyone who's watching this. You're not changing your ads, you're not changing your posts, you're not changing how you're engaging with your customers. What is changing is that you now have this software that's actually interpreting all that data, all that engagement, and giving it to you on a platter. They're making it so much easier for you to perform your day-to-day social media activities.
Absolutely. It's that artificial intelligence that we've talked about before. It's that machine learning that takes all that data and turns it into very useful information that you use as knowledge to make decisions on who should I be following up with right now. And we've talked also that, when we spend our time following up, we spend at least half of it on average just deciding who we're going to follow up on and refreshing ourselves on the conversation or the state we were at with that person. And if we eliminate all that time of trying to decide who do I actually follow up with and what do I need to know about them when I follow up, then you can re-put all of that extra time into the actual core follow-up activity that's going to nurture and close that person. So your sales are going to go up. Your return on investment, the profitability of the customers, the revenue, the sales you're going to make are going to go up because you're going to be following up with the right people and you're going to be spending a lot more time doing that. And we also talked before that, we all have confidence, right? If we can just get into the right conversations, we can close those people. We're confident. We're passionate about our businesses, right? So that's what's important. Have you spend more time with the right people so you can close more people and increase your business. That's the goal. So here's what we just went over in kind of a short social networks versus CRMs, right? Social networks, I'm not knocking Facebook. They're not designed as a CRM. That was never the intention. So there's no tracking, there's no history, there's no context, there's no prioritizations, there's no categorizing, there's no scheduling, there's no reminders. There is Facebook notifications, but it gets so filled with so much stuff that we tend to not even look at it a lot. There's no accountability we actually have inside of LeadKlozer. We track your daily goals on follow-ups with your contacts. We let you set goals and see how you're achieving those goals. There's just no sales focus, right? So if you just look at that and you just say, okay, I need all of that to successfully run my business, create leads, and close leads. So it's the combination of the social network and the CRMs coming together that we really need to make sure that we don't have any misleads anymore. So that's the ultimate solution from LeadKlozer, right? And the picture you see here is taking all of those engagements and bringing them in and putting them together and organizing them for each individual lead, creating a contact profile for each individual lead. So our automation is automated real-time tracking, automated lead scoring, that's that smart score, so you can set priorities, automated context, so you can make split-second decision-making. People are coming into live tracker as one example. Real-time engagements, do I follow up? Do I need to with that person, with that person? Well, I know how important they are. I know their smart score. I know all this context, so I can make those split-second decisions. And automated reminders, schedules, notifications on your engagements so that you know when somebody's engaging with you, even if you're not inside of the platform. Let's say that you wanted to have any contact that you marked as hot, right? Really important contact. And they engaged with you on Facebook, but you were outside gardening, right? Or you were at the grocery store, right? Well, wouldn't you want a notification that that hot lead had engaged with you?
Right.
Absolutely. So you don't miss that lead opportunity. So automated reminders and notifications are extremely important. And then you should just expect more. You should expect to never miss a lead opportunity. You should expect that your level of overwhelm goes down. You should expect you should save hours a day, right? Where you didn't have a very efficient system of determining priorities and who to follow up with. Now you do. And get more sales out of what you are already doing. That's what you should be expecting from your social media.
Right.
So that's LeadKlozer in a nutshell. And before we go in and just show a couple of things live, this is an ad that you guys are running right now. PitchGround is running for LeadKlozer to be a part of these webinar series. And do you see right in the middle here, there's 272 people that have reacted to the ad that's just been up for a few days, and 188 comments. Now, just like the example I gave before where I was running ads for webinars, this is an ad to sign up for this series of webinars. So inside of your LeadKlozer account, I guarantee not all 272 of these people or 188 of these people actually signed up, right? That's just, that's just not the way that it works.
Right.
But it doesn't mean that they're not a lead. It's not somebody that's not interested, right, about LeadKlozer or what PitchGround is doing. So if you didn't have a LeadKlozer, all of those, every single one of these triggered a new contact profile being created inside of LeadKlozer. So did these. And if the profile was already created, then it tracked the history of the relationship. So it's just whether you're running ads or posts or you've got automated chatbots, you need to be tracking all that activity or you're just missing out, right?
I agree.
Oh, okay, so let me do this. Let me come on over to LeadKlozer, okay? And this is where it's real-time engagement on what's happened. So this person has just reacted to a certain post, and I can click on that post.
Oh, we still see
and
it.
I can. Oh, I'm sorry. I haven't changed what I'm sharing on my screen. Switch screen. Tab. Okay. Are you seeing the dashboard on LeadKlozer now?
Not yet. It's loading. Okay, I see it.
Okay, fantastic. So we're live on LeadKlozer. This is that live tracker, real-time engagements, right? And I can scroll up and down, and I can load as many as I want. You can see where people have filled out forms, somebody hearted a reaction, somebody commented, right? So as I scroll up and down, so like this person here, Becca Harper, she reacted to this particular post. Now, normally, like what I've said before, a reaction doesn't even come in from other tools, right? But here's somebody that has an SC score of 61, and guess what? I've got one-on-one communication with this person. She's commented on a different post. So the most recent post or ad that she's commented on will be linked here. And I can click that open. That pops up, and there is her right there. She commented spinach dip with carrot sticks. And I could reply, click, move on. So that would have been a missed lead opportunity. I never would have had the context to know that somebody that just reacted to an existing post a few minutes ago that I would have had one-on-one communication with, or that they had a fairly decent SMART score, right? She's higher than this person, higher than that person, higher than that person, that one, right? So this is telling me I've got somebody who's engaged with me a lot that I've got one-on-one communication with that they just chose to engage with me. This is a perfect example.
Right, and it's especially important to mention that this person commented 3 months ago, right? And that could have been a mislead or missed opportunity to engage with this person. But because of LeadKlozer, you actually know exactly where and when they did it.
Exactly. And I don't know if you just noticed while you were talking there, a new form got filled out from one of my ads. It's 9:42. It says right here, and in 46 seconds, and my clock on my computer says 9:43. So in just seconds time, it just automatically live tracker. You don't have to do anything. New engagements just pop in. So here's a form that got filled out. I can click on that, and I can see the information that was filled out on that form by this person and the questions that they answered. This is actually a ad that is a message goal ad inside of LeadKlozer, where the button says send message, right? So you can send, and then you can automatically have a couple of questions come up in a chatbot fashion, and then you can take over the conversation. So this person now is inside of LeadKlozer, and I have every ability. There's the one-on-one communication dot, right? for her. I got one-on-one communication with her. So this is just a few examples. I know that we're running out of time here. Tomorrow, on our next webinar, we're going to go through a full demonstration live of LeadKlozer. So if there's anything else that you wanted to say to wrap it up, let me know. Or
I actually feel like what you're going to show us tomorrow is going to blow the socks off of anybody who participates and watches. So if you guys are watching this as a replay or if you're here live, make sure you join us tomorrow. And not only tomorrow, we actually have a webinar series that's going to be coming up. And just to give you guys an idea of what this series is all about, we're actually going to be teaching you guys over the course of 8 weeks a free webinar series where you guys don't have to pay anything. You can just join us, learn how to leverage off of these missed opportunities, how to focus on things like micro events, how to focus on things like smart scores, how to plan basically your foundation of social media marketing now that you have all this data available to you at your fingertips. We're also going to share with you how to get more out of your Facebook ads, strategies for that. We're going to talk to you about basically turning LeadKlozer into like a Google search engine of social media marketing. We're also going to have, so this is actually what I'm going to be excited about, how the 10 different types of leads and how to turn them into customers. So that's going to be 5 weeks from now. So I will make sure I will pay extra attention during that one. And then after that, we're going to have a webinar on how to spend, how much to spend on generating each new lead. Because a lot of times people don't understand what is their break-even point. If they're spending too much money to try to make money, you obviously don't want to lose money in the process. We're going to follow up with lead follow-ups after that. And then the future of social media marketing, now that you have LeadKlozer in your arsenal of social media tools. So that's just a rundown of all the different topics we're going to be talking about. If you guys are interested, you want to participate, you already know what you need to do. Just register for the free webinar system. Join us in every conversation. If you have questions, please drop them in the comment section or send me a private message on Facebook. I will make sure that these questions are curated and sent to Steve so that way he helps you run your business more effectively in 2020. So thank you so much for your time today, Steve. It was a pleasure having you here. We're so excited to see you come back tomorrow to do that full feature walkthrough and set up a new account so that way people can see how quickly they can get up and running with LeadKlozer.
Fantastic. We'll see you then.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. See you soon.